things that's going on and taking place all over America still. I've heard a lot of interviews, heard a lot of comments, and have dissected quite a few conversations, have been in conversations, and I'm starting to make sense of some of this stuff that's happening in our country regarding racism. I want to share some thoughts with you for a moment. I believe that racism is a choice. I heard one say that if it ain't broke, why fix it? And it's like, what do that mean? If it ain't broke, why fix it? Said white America built this system the way that it did, and so to them it's not broke, so why fix it? You're going to always find those that are centralized in their thinking because they are white, that there's some things they see and how black people are treated. They can say, it's not right. But if you remain silent, or you live next door to somebody that's totally silent to racism, then of course they are a part of the problem, because they're not willing to speak out against what's wrong versus what's right. I look at things from a standpoint of friendships. I have white friends that I feel like don't talk about these injustices. I work with people that not the same color as me, not the same gender as me. These conversations never get brought up. Maybe the subjects are too touchy for some people. I received an email recently from a white Caucasian female that I have some association with, far as, workplace. And she apologized for the behavior of white people who are racist. Because again, being a racist is a choice. Anybody in this world right now, if they chose that they didn't want to be a racist, or they don't choose to be one, they don't have to be. But because your white status allows you certain privileges, or all privileges in life, then you don't understand what it's like to walk in a black man or black woman's shoes on a day-to-day basis. But here's where we have to take back our authority. Because one thing I can say about myself, and the way that I was raised, and the way that I raised my own children, I've never been intimidated by another man's color. If I've been the only black man in the room, I promise you, I have not been intimidated by a white man's presence, because he only knows what he knows, and I only know what I know. But I know that he has never experienced walking in a black man's shoes, which makes me, in my opinion, a little more powerful to be able to operate under the ultimate power, which is of God. Because we are more of a forgiving people than anybody on the face of this earth. And so, along with that, it makes me question sometimes my own black brothers and sisters who stand in positions of authority, but yet don't have authority because you don't use that authority to help pull up another black brother or black sister or black family, to help them or to engage them in something in particular that will help them. And what I mean by that is, I'm not going to sit behind a desk or a pen or a newspaper and state things that I'm not willing to address with my mouth. I've been asked to speak at rallies and protests, but not by significant people in the community that I live in, because I'm not a person that you would consider a bootlicker. I'm a person that have its own thoughts. I'm a person that have a strong belief in God. Am I perfect? No. Do I try to lay that label and instability on other people of judging them? Sometime. Because I question some people's motives when it comes to how do we deal with systemic racism and racism in general, and injustice, lockup in our judicial system. I struggle with those things because I've been one of those people that went in the courtroom on a day-to-day basis, following court cases, and visually have seen the injustices that take place in a black man's sentence versus a white man's sentence, the way a black man's case is handled versus a white man's case is handled, how we throw away our youth so quick, and it's just sometimes it's mind-boggling. But when I question black men who are in a position to come to a table and come together with other black men and let's take a stance and let's be strong about something, and you can't do that, then I call that being weak. I call that being sorry. I call that being that you have no power in your black community. You probably don't want to show your face in the black community because at the end of the day, you're more concerned about your paycheck, which, I can understand that to a degree. But we put people in positions for change when it comes to black folks. I was talking to a young man a few weeks ago in regards to a case that he's dealing with. He's out on parole, and there's some issues going on with his parole stipulations that just don't fit his case. And so, I have several numbers that I was able to make contact with, and was able to get a hold of a person from the Prison Review Board in the state of Illinois. And this person happened to be black. And this person did not want to speak to me, did not want to discuss the case, said, I'm not the person you need to be talking to. And so it was handing me off basically to a white person. And so again, I'm saying to my black brothers and sisters, if you're in a position and all you're going to do is pass the buck, then you are wasting your time. You do not understand your blackness, and you have thrown it out the window. You might as well be a lame duck. It's as simple as that. I could use harsher words, but I won't. But I'm telling you, you are worthless if you're not willing to stand for something. Because I've always been told if you're not willing to stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And what we're falling for just don't make sense. So, if we're going to keep struggling with these injustices, then we're better off, staying off of social media. Because if we're not going to do something about it ourselves as black folk, there's a way that we could unite. Blacks and whites could unite. But that's a choice. It is truly a choice. Just like salvation. Salvation is a choice. Jesus Christ said, if you believe in your heart that God raised Jesus from the dead, you confess with your mouth. It is with the heart, the Bible says, that man believe unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. Just that simple. You say, just that simple. You can renounce racism today if you choose to. We wouldn't be having all these protests. We wouldn't be having to have all these marches. We wouldn't be going through these emotional breakdowns as black folks every day. We continue to do this stuff because we go from one level to the next. We go from one crisis to the next. And what is happening is, you look at Trayvon Martin, unarmed, teenage black boy. That was, 5-6 years ago. And here we are now. We're ranting and raving about George Floyd's death, when Trayvon Martin's death was equally as bad. But we let the emotion of a thing dry out, and then we wait for the next tragedy, incident, or murder take place at the hand of an unarmed black man or black woman. How do you call the police for help and the police come to your house and kill you? That's insane, people. And we keep accepting this. This is why I go back to the beginning of what I said. If we don't take charge and authority of our own life and walk in our authority, that we don't allow racism to put us in the back of the line, we're probably not going to get it any other way. I'm saying that we have to walk in our authority in God, in Him first. Live, move, have our being. That's what authority we have to walk in. God has not given unto us a spirit of fear. 2 Timothy, 2nd chapter. He's not given unto us. I'm sorry, the 3rd chapter. Verse 15. But of power and love and that which is of a sound mind. See, first we have to learn how to encourage ourselves. Then we can walk these streets and not be afraid that we're going to lose our life, because I'm encouraged that God has my back. I'm not discouraged because I'm encouraging myself every day that I have an opportunity to not only help others get saved, help others walk in the light of God. I have that opportunity every day to do something better. But if I don't take my opportunity to help another person, to help another person's eyes of their understanding being open, if I don't try to do that every single day, then I'm wasting time. And so it's important that we get to know our younger generation in a way that we have not known it, because they are our future. You see, I don't want to be 70 and 75 years old and my children don't understand that they may have to take care of daddy one day because of his situation. Because I don't know what that situation may be, but my prayer is that they'll never have to do that. But when I leave this earth, I want to be able to leave an inheritance for my children and my children's children. I count it that me and my wife are blessed people. We have our struggles sometimes with health and strength. But greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. If you are taking what I'm saying to you as a negative, then you're not listening. Because I'm saying that we need God through all of this pandemic and injustice. We need God. And I believe that God is trying to speak to us. But we're ignoring the brunt of what he's saying. It's time for us to come out of our comfort zones, our comfort levels, our inconsistencies in life. It's time for us to come out of these things. It's time for us to, as white people, it's time for us to stop looking down on blacks. Why are you looking down on me? What are you fearing about me? Because I want you to stop fearing me, because when you stop fearing me, you'll stop killing me, or you'll stop killing us, or you'll stop killing our children, because I don't want you killing my children's children because of your own fear, because your fear activates the enemy that's in you. That's what the Bible says. And so I know that God came that we might have life and have it more abundantly. And I know that Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. I know that my faith activates the Spirit of God in my life. And I know the spirit of fear activates the enemy against us. So I say to my black people, bind up the spirit of fear. For the Bible says, what we bind on earth shall be loosed in heaven, and what we loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. I apologize for that. What we loose in the heavens shall be loosed in the earth, and what we bind in the heavens shall be bind in the earth. We got to bind and loose. We got to rebuke racism at its highest. But again, racism is a choice. Most white people have chosen to be racist. But Jesus said, I've overcome all of that. And I'm riding with Jesus. And I pray that you are too. Subscribe now, and we'll talk soon. I'm Scott Lewis, Project Change. God bless.